give up, don't give up, don't give up, don't give up your day job.
Yes, people. Welcome to Don't Give Up Your Day Job, a podcast dedicated to funny, honest, and sometimes pretty darn deep takes on the different jobs people have had to do in pursuit of their dreams. We're your hosts, James.
And Joey.
A.K.A. The Bone
Brothers. That don't get any less cheesy, does it? That really don't.
It's in now, we're keeping it there, don't worry about that. But far more important than us today, guys, we are so over the moon to welcome the man, the myth, the legend. Some call him South London's finest. Best known to the world, perhaps, still as Naboo from the Mighty Boosh, but we're simply honoured to call him the first ever guest on Don't Give Up Your Day Job.
Hey guys.
Mr. Mike Fielding.
Thanks. How you doing? You good?
Very well. How are you,
well,
sir?
Mike.
All
Thanks.
Right, good. It's nice to be in Carshalton.
Mate, don't tell them. We're in Hollywood. What you want?
Sorry. Nice to be in on Malibu Beach.
Yeah.
You're sort of back to your own old stomping ground, Mike, and because you don't come from far away, do you?
No, I grew up in South. Yeah, not far. Not far. Mitcham.
Mitcham boy.
Too far.
Go on, boy.
Now, obviously, Mike is recognisable to people around the world as a true star of TV. But we've known him in another way, don't we, Joey?
Yeah, we do. So, a little bit of a background. You used to live, unfortunately for you, with our sister Becky. Her sort of, I don't know, what can we say? We don't want to go too badly into her hygiene, but it's not fantastic. But no, only joking, Beck. Only joking, you're a diamond.
Shout out, Beck.
Yeah, shout out, Becky B. So we met you through Becky when you were living in the flat in Streatham.
Yeah.
How long ago was that now?
That was probably about 20 years ago.
It's a long
It's
time.
all right.
It's got to be 20.
long time
Because
ago.
I remember, you might have met each other just before that, but I remember I had a gig, and I remember the first time I met you is you came to the gig, and then we ended up going back to your flat for yet another party. That was one of them.
It was always back to the flat for a party, wherever I lived. It's coming back to the flat for a party.
It was a flat party place, and one that springs to mind was the New Year's Eve bash that we had. Little bit of a, we were actually at another party over in Croydon, and weren't going great. So we spoke to Becky, and we all jumped in a cab and we headed over, got in. It was, a bit of a slow burner and whatnot, and I think someone had turned up with, shall we say, some hallucinogenics, but.
I wasn't. I don't think I was there at the start. I was somewhere else, and I got a phone call. Go, come. Where are you? We're at your house. Come back.
Yeah.
So I came back, and it was just it was like mental. It was chaos. I was like, what the hell is going on?
I remember. I vaguely remember it. I don't remember it well, but I do remember you came in. And I was like, "What the hell?"
I was like, "What have I come back to?" It's good, but
It was brilliant. I just remember, like I say, it started off pretty normal, and then all of a sudden there were toilet ducks walking across the toilet mantelpiece, and I was like,
they're
"Whoa,
actually real ducks."
This party's changed.
I always had these really tiny hands, plastic hands, like doll's hands, and I always take them wherever I go. I used to carry them around to parties, like enemy awards and stuff. I used to have them on a keychain around my neck, and but yeah, I've got a big box of them. So I had a box of them in that flat, and I remember all throughout the night just coming out with these tiny hands, and then Becky, your sister, would go one further, and she would come out with a hand, but with a tiny spanner in the palm of the hand.
One of my abiding memories of that moment must have been about 4 a.m. I was seeing double and maybe quadruple of that as well. And I just do remember you. I can't remember whether it's a real banana or a fake one, but you were pretending to have a conversation with someone on the phone, and I was like, this is one way of seeing the new year.
It was literally, your dressing up box was legendary, wasn't it? Because Becky used to say, so and so was over last week, and we got this out and we got that out, and it came out that night, and I tell you what, it was so funny.
It's the chest of wonders.
Yeah.
Mate,
Aladdin's cave, Naboo's cave.
You still got it locked
I've
away?
got it in. It's in mum and dad's garage. It's in one of those massive, the old-fashioned laundry bags. Like the
probably-
checkered bag.
Yeah.
You get, like a massive one. It's like massive. I've got like just full of hats and wigs and dressing
Brilliant,
up
mate.
stuff.
Oh, is that stuff from the Boosh, like, or just
No,
you gathered
bits and
over
pieces.
a bit?
Some of them. There's some wigs from like the show and bits and pieces where I've just accumulated stuff.
mate.
Don't know where it's come from.
Yeah. Love it.
It was such a good night.
And then
Funny times.
I remember the other time. I mean, there was a few, but we certainly the Hop Farm Festival, which for you guys was absolutely
wow,
but that was like. I remember
that was a baking hot day.
This is the other side of show.
This is
the other side of show business. We went to the festival, and like, obviously you guys were you were flying high at that point, and Becky was with you and stuff. And I remember me and Joe, like a desperate pair of turnips, we were like trying to get into the after party at the end of the thing, where there was like security guards and all that, and they were like, not today. Boys. And then but it sounded so desperate. We were like, yeah, but no, we know Mike.
And we've had to get a cab home. We've had to get a cab home. It's cost us well over
it's in the middle of nowhere. There was
One-
no like shuttle buses or anything,
it
or the
was
trains had
murder,
gone.
Mate, it took about the person you never want to be. You never want to be that guy at the gate going, no, we know the guy. But it never happened.
Oh, mate.
I was flying to Turkey really early in the morning the next day, like with my partner at the time, Rachel.
Yeah.
So I don't know how. Literally, I don't know how I made it to the airport or anything because we've been up all night.
Yeah.
And
Now you think about that sort of stuff, it gives you kittens, didn't it?
Oh,
Like, you
no,
know what I mean?
can't.
Like, I
That
don't
gives me-
I don't mind a night out still.
I could, I mean, it's been about 3 years since I've had a night out.
Yeah.
But you're looking well for it, mate.
I get tired by 11.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, if I go to a gig, I'm by about 10:30. I'm like,
that's
my
it.
feet are hurting now.
I know. Mate, I feel like that at my own gigs when I'm playing them. I've got like...
You're only on for half an hour.
I've got 15 minutes in, I've got 3 songs left. Like, there's a box set with my name on it. Don't worry about that. No, that was brilliant. Great times, though, mate. It's really great to see you again. As I say, it has been...
It's been a long time. I mean, going back to... you got us in the Boosh a few times as well, like, as extras, and, I mean, they were good fun. Long days, obviously, with us, but... Just a good,
do you remember
good
that?
crack.
Like that mad, like it was like an ex-army kind of barracks.
Like
Do you
like a
remember
compound.
where we were filming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that might. But we did manage to get to the rap party because I think that was the last episode, and we went to.
That was at Free Mills Studios.
Yeah.
Where they do MasterChef there. Don't they?
Is that where they did luxury comedy as well? Or is that because I remember doing an extra?
They did the second. Yeah. The second series of luxury.
I remember talking about don't give up your day job. Another period of my life when I had no dough and I was living over in East London and I was like, fucking it, in between jobs as we are. And I remember, I don't know if I spoke to no, I mean, Becky was like, yeah, they need a bit of extra work on luxury comedy. And I was
because
like,
I asked
you were
Becky.
there that day. I think you would have been there.
Yeah, because I mentioned it to Becky because Becky came in as well.
She came in a
and I
little
said,
bit.
ask James if he wants to come in.
Yeah.
You know.
I wonder maybe that might have been the last. I mean, that's 10,
been-
12
it's
years
a
ago,
long,
isn't it?
long
That's a
time
long
ago,
old
isn't
stretch
it?
ago. Good 10 years ago. Like that might have been the last time I actually caught up with you. But yeah, thanks to yourself and Noel for helping me pay my rent that month.
Gave him the taste of stardom, shall we say?
That was crazy old times. Talking of the job journey, I guess in the theme of the podcast, as I say, everyone knows our around the world your TV stardom and stuff. But it's as we know, it's not quite plain. It's never quite as plain sailing as what people see on the screen, isn't it? Like you've had an interesting journey as anyone. I was laughing when you said your early jobs because living nearby, we literally know the venues
Everywhere
you
you've
were
said
talking about.
where you've worked, we've been to or know of it. You know what I mean? I mean, give us a start.
Yeah.
Where did it all begin for Mike?
So my first job I ever had was, this is not acting, this was just a job. In Megabowl in Pearly Way.
Shout out Megabowl in Pearly Way.
Loved it there.
I was in charge of the Crazy Golf and Jungle Gyms.
Yes.
So I was Jungle Gym at some point. I was in a giant safari man costume. It was so heavy, I'm sure anyway, so heavy that if I fall over,
You ain't
I'd
getting
go
back
and
up.
get back up, and I did. I didn't fall on my. I didn't. It wasn't my fault. I got pushed by 7 kids, and they just pushed me and left me on the floor. I was on the floor
Like
for.
Mr. Blobby.
Not joking. I was on the floor for about an hour, going, "Hello, come someone help me!" Like just like I
The
couldn't
kids
get
are
up.
loving it. Isn't
Oh,
they?
yeah, they were kicking me. They were-
You don't get any tips for that. That's the
No.
problem. You know what I mean?
So yeah, I was jungle gym. It was like kind of it was split. It was like half like it was the kind of main reception bit was like for the golf on one side, and then you've got the jungle gyms on the other. But
Yeah. Is that still there, Megabowl, Pearly?
Nah,
No.
probably not. It might be something else now, but
Oh, yeah, fair
It's,
play.
it was hideous. I mean,
It's probably flats or something,
I
if I'm
used to
honest.
get pissed up.
Just to do the job. To do the job.
Just like trying to play golf, paralytic, and like just pissing in the holes and just like I'm going.
Shout out,
I'm
Croydon.
going to have to get security now. So you're pissing in hole 9. Where's your golf ball? Where is it?
I ain't getting paid enough to fucking clean this shit. Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
mate, fantastic.
So was that you'd already left school? Like that was your sort of full time gig, essentially.
That was when was that? That was while I was at college, I think. Must be. Yeah, I think it was. Maybe I just left college. I think I just left college. Yeah.
Oh mate, it's I remember them sort of that you do like the sort of jobs that you're in. You know you don't want to be there, but you're like you can't rely on mum and dad's money
Oh, no, of
anymore.
course
Do
not.
you know what I mean?
No,
Sort of
no.
thing. So.
Well,
I
the
said
thing
before-
is, at the time, you look back and go, oh my God, what was that job? But then at the time, you're like, you don't think it's a bad job.
You're not
because
thinking of it,
You haven't
yeah.
had a job before, so it's like,
Exactly.
oh, this is all right. I'm getting money.
Yeah.
Like,
it's normal
You're
for
spending your money by the weekend,
it's
but
not-
it is what it is.
It's normal for a pissed up guy to piss in the hole.
This sums it up. My first shift there. So my first shift of my first ever job, I rode my bike in from mum and dad's, which is about 10 minutes. No, about 15-minute bike ride.
Yeah.
Because I cut through. Chained my bike up. Was really like happy with myself. Chained my bike up. Went in. I stupidly chained it up to like a wooden thing. So yeah, there was like some travellers around the corner. They saw that bike and they took it.
You might as well have given it.
I might as well just gone, there we go. Do you want that? Have a go on that. Literally. So I came out with my shift and was like, oh, my bike's gone. Shit.
Yeah.
So,
And that, guys, is Croydon in a nutshell.
so
That is it. I mean, do you know what? I remember we talked about this before, but like my first ever proper job was dishwasher in the Toby Carvery. And in the thing, like I got the job because mum literally said, like, you need to get a job. You need to do this. So I was there first shift the following week on a Sunday at Toby Carvery. It's like
Busy day.
You think Gordon Ramsay's bad in the kitchen, mate? You would have seen like these guys. I'd literally just sort of gone from like just enjoying sitting in my room listening to music like that kind of going out that sort of thing, spending little money. It was like walking into World War III. And the worst thing is I've come back with a load of plates. Like that I shouldn't have been carrying that many. About 15 plates. I've finished in. I've walked into the kitchen. I've tripped over straight away. They've gone. So that was my first ever job. I lasted 6 hours. Bang.
I mean, the thing is, like, if you'd have screwed your life, you'd just like let yourself in at the shallow end, if you like, and started on a Monday afternoon or a Tuesday afternoon. Sunday, Toby Carvery's got to be the busiest day, isn't it?
you went diving in the deep end
It's
straight away.
It was that's almost like a pattern of my life. Just
I'll have a go.
just go for abject failure
If I'm
first.
going to
and
do it,
learn.
I'm going to go in all guns blazing,
Mate.
and then it might
Yeah.
be good, it might not. It probably won't.
Yeah, it will more often than not result in complete failure, but at least you know where to go from there.
Look, you've got a story. He's got a story for it, so it's good stuff. What we
I
need.
used to at Megabowl. I used to host the kids' parties on a weekend. It was hideous. All these like kids, and I was doing you look after a group of kids, and then it's like and the parents are like stressing out. And I used to balloon model, so I made all swords for the boys because they wanted swords, and then I made like flowers for the girls or some dogs and stuff. And this woman came over. She was quite posh for like Pearly as well. She was like, I need to talk to you, please. I was like, okay, what's happened? Like, everything all right? I'm really upset because you made my son a penis. I went, what do you mean? You made him a balloon penis. I went, it's a sword. He's having a sword fight, but it looks like a penis. I'm like, but it's not a penis. Like, I want to see your manager.
Was it like the testicles were meant to be the handle?
Yeah.
Is it like the cutlass model?
I want to see your manager, please. Can I see your manager now? It's like, it's a sword. Like, look at him. Look, he's having a whale of a time. With his penis.
Yeah, I mean, we all.
Did you say you meant to turn it the other way round? But
so I got my manager, and then my manager just went, "Is there what's the problem?" And she went, "He's made my son a penis," and it's like, "It's a sword." She literally said the same thing as I did. It's a sword, madam, but it looks like a penis. I'm like. I was just thinking, I think you're maybe lacking something at home. You think that's a penis?
Do you know what? Take the sword with you.
Let me know at the end. I'll make you one, madam. You can take it back with you.
Little side business now, mate.
Brilliant. That is fantastic. That's quality.
You do come across. That's what we were saying on our first episode when we were chatting about our own stuff. It's like you look back and some things you're like, I can't wait to leave or whatever, but they're full of like random
Stuff
stories.
that sticks in your mind for your rest of your life.
Yeah.
These random human interactions that you wouldn't necessarily have in other work. It's brilliant. What happened? So when you finished there, where was the next?
I left there to go to live in Australia for a year.
Wicked.
Right.
Yeah, of course you did.
I told my parents. I remember telling my parents, they were like, my dad went, I don't believe you. He went, well, you're not, what? He went, what do you mean? I was the shyest person ever. Like, the thought of me going anywhere on my own, or I went with my mate at the time, but yeah, my dad was like, I don't believe you, son. I went, here's the ticket, look, I bought it to years.
I'll tell you what,
here's my visa for a year.
Pearly Megabowl must have been paying well, though. I've got to tell you, you've got your
I saved £1,000. I only took £1,000 with me. I saved £1,000.
Wow.
That was it.
That got you to Dubai. And then
I worked in a music venue in Melbourne.
So when you were at the bowling, did you always, when you started the job at the Megabowl, did you know you wanted to go to Australia? Was it while you were working?
Yeah, so me and my mate, well, yeah, you know Pete.
Pete? Yeah. We know Pete. Yeah, absolutely.
I haven't spoken to him for about 20 years.
Shout out, Pete. This is what the podcast's about. It's bringing people together.
It's like Friends Reunited as well. Long lost family.
But yeah, so yeah, we just went, should we just go to Australia? So we went out there for the comedy festival. So Noel and Julian did they did their Edinburgh show out there for the Melbourne Comedy Festival.
And was that, what would that have been like, sort of year 2000?
That was 2000. Like? No, that was, 2000, yeah.
Gotcha.
You know, man, you feel old, man.
Yeah, I know, I feel old as well.
So did you know, did they say come out and help us?
So we went out just to hang out because I'd been the year before with Noel and Julian.
Right.
When they did the first Mighty Boosh show, they got nominated. They did the Melbourne show there.
Over in Oz, you're talking about.
And then they got, then they did pretty well there. So then they went back with their second show. I think it was Arctic Boosh was the second one.
Because they won, they did it in Edinburgh.
They won Best Newcomer for the Mighty Boosh one. That was the Jungle episode, kind of, but loosely based on that.
Yeah.
Then they went back again in the second year and did Arctic Boosh. So both shows they took to Melbourne. When the first time we went, the venue they played at the Hi-Fi Bar, which is like they open it up for like the festival, the comedy festival. We know all the staff and that, and our mates ran it. It was like
because you're already you're living in Melbourne at this point.
So we went back to Melbourne the year before. I went just for holiday for the festival.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Went back the year later with the boys again. But this time, me and Pete, we planned to stay.
Wicked, gotcha.
We did a month in Melbourne for the comedy festival. When everyone left, when everyone left, went home. We backpacked. So we did like South Australia. We did a centre,
Ocean Road, and all that.
A centre, and then we did all of the East Coast.
Oh, nice. Up Perth and all that.
Up there, up and then down.
Nice.
Perth's west.
Oh, sorry, what I talked about? Perth west.
So we did we went. So we did
didn't do geography at school.
Melbourne, Adelaide, then the centre. So Ayers Rock.
Yeah.
Alice Springs. Then we went all the way across, and we did like Cairns up, and we went Cairns and all the way down.
Yeah, nice.
So,
Byron Bay was one of our favourite places. We're supposed to be there for 2 days. We stayed there for 3 weeks.
Well, that's what you do when you're away. I wish he was there with me. We were going to go Sydney together for the cricket.
Yeah,
I didn't like Sydney.
I was
I don't like
supposed to go, but someone stopped me. Absolute nightmare. We won't go into it. Worst mistake I've ever made.
We definitely won't go into that one. So I ended up not going to Sydney, but we did the Ocean Road instead from Melbourne.
I love it. Ocean Road's wicked.
Unbelievable. We'll get there again one day, bro.
Yeah,
100%.
hopefully.
Ocean Road's cool.
Yeah, no, it's quality. So that's an interesting little sort of segue there, if you like. So when you're there, obviously, Noel and Julian, but specifically your brother Noel, is making waves at that point in the comedy world. Already well known, not so much on TV, but certainly from a live performance stand-up point of view. Did he say like you're going to be in the show, or were you ever in the live show, or was it completely just when the TV came out?
So basically, when I remember it was on Boxing Day. I was in Australia Boxing Day, and literally, I know it sounds cliche, but we was at a friend's house and we were having shrimp on the barbie on Boxing Day. Literally, it was like
as you do.
And a few days later, my brother sent me the script for the pilot for Mighty Boosh, and so he sent me the part of Naboo. And I was reading it on Boxing Day in Australia, and he said when you get back, because I only had a couple of months left, and I was coming home because I could only stay for a year, whereas I think a week after I got my visa, first got my visa, they brought out the 2-year visa, and I was like, oh, fuck, timing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but it actually turned out quite nice, didn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think I would have wanted to stay there for 2 years.
Got to be the best Christmas present he ever got you, wouldn't it? Writing that.
I know, yeah. I was like, I think I was done by that point. I was like, I'm ready to come home. I grew my hair. My hair was like down here. So literally, when I got back, when we first started doing live stuff, because we were doing our like warm-ups for the actual pilot, because we basically filmed the pilot live. So we were doing the Hen and Chickens in Highbury and Islington. We were doing like gigs there every Monday, and then the executives from like BBC and Baby Cow were coming down to have a look.
Is that Steve Coogan? That's Steve Coogan, isn't it?
Yeah. And then that's his production company. Yeah. And do you know why it's called Baby Cow? I only realised this the other day. Well, you had a character called Paul Calf.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my
I love
God.
that. That's brilliant.
But yeah, so yeah, we were doing live. We were doing the Hen and Chickens, and then we filmed the pilot, and then.
So, but at the show when you were doing. Just to sort of go, because it is an interesting point. Obviously, you've gone from Megabowl, which is listen. People are everyone's working there somewhere doing their sort of thing, but you've gone from that to Oz to an opportunity that literally does not happen to people.
Life.
Do you know what I mean? Like
it's moulded me into the adult I am now. I mean, what's amazing is that it's given me. It's like it gave me so much confidence. Like I was so shy before about meeting new people or whatever, but since doing Boosh, like it was like it was such a big part of my life. It had a massive
cult following, didn't it? So popular. Like I mean, off the wall. If anyone hasn't seen it, definitely catch up with it because it is.
I was someone about this the other day. I don't think. It's weird because it was the right timing, perfect timing. I don't think a show like that would necessarily be made now because I don't know.
Do you know what we were literally having this conversation earlier for like different.
I think people are too scared about doing weird stuff.
That's right. I think you're right.
That was an absolutely golden age for comedy.
It was a risk back then because they were obviously, Steve Coogan was like. Let's risk it on this show, and then.
The thing is, if you want to have anyone behind you in the comedy world, you have Steve Coogan.
Obviously, he had a massive stand. he was a legend.
He's involved.
So people are going to take his word for it and go, actually,
he's backing you. He's good to have in your corner, isn't it?
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if we tried to pitch the Mighty Boosh like these days, whether it would.
Nah, it's an interesting one because that was a proper golden age of like at all different levels. I think like things like and
League of Gentlemen,
Garth Marenghi,
yeah.
stuff like that, like proper off the wall mad stuff. But there's not a great, it's not around as much now. Like
there's
just
no weird
watching
stuff.
it.
There's not really any weird stuff anymore.
nah, like
Inside number 9's quite weird,
Yeah.
isn't it? That's a bit off the
Yeah,
wall. I was
that's
watching
good.
a bit of that the other day, and
I like that.
Yeah, that is
That's
quite good.
really clever though.
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
way-
really good.
And also you
They're great
don't,
writers,
you
yeah.
don't. There's so much you don't see coming. You're like, oh,
No.
whoa,
ah, where's that come
I
from?
like that.
That is mad. So you got into the obviously the show was commissioned. You sort of gone into the filming process and that. I guess it's completely new for you. Like I know you've done a bit of stage work and stuff like that and sort of thing. What was the like? How did the transition go? Like in terms of the stories that you have and that sort of thing. Like what was it like going from everyday Mike sort of thing to then being in show business or whatever?
It was weird. It's so weird. It was such a weird transition. It was weird. It was hard to get your head round. Like I used to, me and I, or even when we was on tour and that, like me and I used to look at each other before the show. We look behind the curtain and see like a sold out O2 and going, what are we doing? What is this? What is this? But you can't. I guess you have to block it out. You have to not block it out, but you have to pretend it's not happening because if you start
overthinking it, getting in your head.
Start processing it, you can lose your mind
Without a
and
doubt.
go, whoa.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people, they can't handle it because it's too much for them. Like they don't.
Yeah, it was fanatical though, wasn't it? I think because of the style of the show, like obviously there's a lot of shows people can take it or leave it, but I think if you were into the Boosh, it was like fanatical, like people like the dressing, like the fans, like dressing up.
I mean,
and the Hot Farm.
Hot Farm, they was all dressed up, but I went to the Brixton Academy showing like on the live bit, and everyone was dressed up. I was out of place because I just had jeans and a shirt on or something like that, and everyone was dressed up, and I was the weirdo. You know what I mean? I was getting looked at going, what are you doing? What are you doing here? You know what I mean?
It's a funny old game,
mate.
isn't
It honestly, it was like being at a rock show.
I know,
like a massive gig because that's what the fans made it. Fucking mental
also, I think
experiences.
we decided. I think Noel and June made a kind of conscious effort to actually go right. Well, because there's a lot of music in the show and people like the songs, let's make like the last 20 minutes or half an hour of the show, of the live show, like almost like a rock gig.
Like a gig, yeah.
So
which is what
when they're banging to their music
then
as well, wouldn't they?
They'd love it. People love it because they get to get to hear the songs as well.
Totally.
And there's some proper catchy numbers, if I remember
I
through
think
the
like
series.
Noel, especially there, he was like a rock star basically, and Julian's a master musician. Like he was incredible, right? Like incredible. It was a real sort of thing. And then I just remember things with like Flight of the Conchords and stuff like that. I was getting on these flashbacks.
Yeah, they had
like,
massive. Like, that was a proper
brilliant
musical show, wasn't it? And all that was really good.
Yeah, no, they were good. They were good times.
But yeah, it's weird. Like started to obviously being on like behind the camera on like when we filmed the TV show. I'd never done anything before, any acting. So I was like, what the hell? What is this?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
And then, it was like, it's just a different world.
Did you have people obviously coming up? Well, I mean, I know they did because I remember being with friends when I was with you. And they were like, "Is that Naboo?" Like, what was that when people were coming up to you on the street for the first time? And a couple of years old. I guess it helps with your confidence as well because it was people was genuinely loved you.
Like when I was growing up and that, I had no confidence and I was really shy. So from doing Boosh, like when I used to go and meet fans and that, I'd be at a shopping and that, and they'd come up to me and go, "Oh, you're my favourite character." It was really nice, like to get a hug from people or, just chat to fans. Yeah. It's a really nice feeling, not in an arrogant way, but in a kind of
way, in
a nice warm way, and also like it's nice. Because you're showing that you've got time for your fans, whereas some people don't have any time. They're
It's
like,
nice
to
be nice, isn't it? It's nice to be nice, and it's nice to be liked.
So this is my motto: It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice.
100%.
100%, mate.
That's a mantra that I might live by.
Yeah, for sure. No,
you can't. That's mine. You can't. I
Copyright.
I'm going to charge you rent on that.
So coming, you know, when your tour finished with the Boosh, was you like you're obviously on the crest of a wave, but you know we found that obviously our show was nowhere near your like Boosh status, but we were back to the like 9 to 5 grind, and it was like fucking hell, you know, this is thing, and this is why sort of reason why we've kicked off this to see, you know, how we can enjoy it more and bits and pieces. But what happened to you? Did you get on further TV work or?
So even though I was in a massive show like Mighty Boosh and like playing to all these people, and you know, but it was I still had a bit of like, there was part of me that didn't have much belief in myself still. It's
like imposter syndrome sort
I
of
don't
thing,
know,
like.
not that, no, just not having self-doubt and self-belief, because I didn't train, and also, you know,
Yeah, of course.
being bullied at school, that does have an effect on you.
100%. And it's not really, realistically, it weren't that long after.
No.
It's only a few, you know,
People
it's
think,
only, it weren't
it's
that long after you'd finished.
Yeah.
Sure, do you know
He
what I
must
mean?
be a millionaire.
People think, you know, it's only high school, it doesn't really, but it does have an effect.
Of course it does.
That makes
course it does.
you very like not believe in yourself. But so I
showed 'em, mate.
I wish I'd pursued, like, I wish I'd gone to auditions and pursued acting and got a proper agent and done that. I could have done that after Boosh and probably been in more stuff, but I just didn't have the confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I need to earn a living.
So was it one of them things where you thought, like, obviously I've done Boosh with Noel and stuff like that, but where am I going?
Yeah, so I was kind of obviously Noel and Julian were like, obviously they stand up, so they could still do stand up, and they had like other work and stuff,
Other projects.
So but I had to literally get a normal job again, which was like the weirdest thing from being like really like
top of the
high
pops.
up, high up the mountain.
You're with the rest of us now, Mike.
Stumbling down. I got a job in HMV. In HMV at Victoria Station.
Do you know what? That's just rung a bell with me, right? And tell me if I'm wrong, but there's a story. I think Becky told me it, that Zoe Ball went into HMV to do it, and she saw you at the tilt and was like, "What the fuck are you doing in here? Like, you can't be working in here. You're on Naboo," sort of thing.
Brilliant. She, her and Norman came to when we toured, when we did play Brighton. They came to the show. We got them in, which is mad for me because I was like a massive fan of Zoe Ball when I was growing up.
Yeah. And they love all of that, don't they? They're quirky. Yeah, for
so
sure.
She came in. And I was like, they were like. So my work colleagues were like, there's Zoe Ball there, and then she came over and went, Mike, hey, and they were like, you know Zoe Ball? It's like, well, you know, and then she was like, what are you doing here? And I was like, oh, quite embarrassing. And then
not that there's anything wrong with working in record shops.
And then about a few weeks later, because I started DJing as well. I was doing DJing like.
Had the Boosh finished at this point? Or was it like...
We'd finished our last tour.
Gotcha, right, yeah.
But I got a DJ agent.
Yeah.
Because I did a few on the last Boosh tour, we used to do Boosh nights
after
after.
parties. Yeah, I remember.
And I was DJing. I've always been a good DJ. I've been really good at just doing that.
They were always quiet nights, weren't they? Them Boosh DJ nights.
And oh god. And then because I could just play what I wanted, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
But I got an agent for doing like gigs. But obviously you're doing a few gigs. I was doing maybe a couple of gigs a week.
Yeah. You ain't relying on them.
I didn't think it was going to be like take off as much as it did, but anyway, a week later, from HMV, my manager was like, "Mike, the phone for you," and I was like, "Who is it?" Like my mum or something. Why is my mum calling me at work? No, it's Norman Cook. I was like, what? I was like, what? Brilliant. So I was like, hello, hey Norman. He was like, he was like. Hear you're DJing now. You're pretty well DJing. I went, yeah. He went, do you want to open up, play for me at Brighton Beach Boutique? Like that's his big festival.
Go on, mate.
That
I was
is
like,
amazing.
yeah. So literally, cut to New Year's Day on Brighton Beach. Next to Brighton Beach. New Year's Day one year. they opened the gates. 20. No, I think it was about 10,000. 10,000 people running towards me. Me started to play my set. Popped a pill.
Yeah, it was New Year's Day. You'd had a long night.
This is a long time ago.
Yeah. Where, mate?
Yeah, so like, all these people running towards me, did like an hour and a half. Amazing.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Out of this world.
Fucking mate, I tell you, but first and foremost, shout out to Norman Cook and Zoe Ball.
Yeah.
Me and Joey can DJ Norman if you do need to work with that.
yeah.
That's quality, man.
Yeah.
I actually
No, I didn't know that. That is brilliant. That's amazing.
I had no idea about that. Like, I knew you DJ.
My mate who I was with took these really amazing photos of me, like when I was on stage and that at that gig at the festival, and my mum and dad have got them in there by the front door, like in like this big frame.
Oh, mint, mate.
Yeah.
That is quality.
So I've got those moments captured.
So from that, did you find did your gigs, like did your DJing gigs pick up quite
Yeah,
quickly? Because
I was getting like.
I mean, if you're supporting
I was
Fatboy Slim.
I was getting 4 or 5 gigs a week. I was
brilliant.
going.
We do like unis and that, like fresher stuff.
I did a lot of unis, but then also I did a gig in Moscow, which was mad. Moscow's a strange place.
Especially now. Jesus Christ.
Played this really like kind of like weird underground club when there was all these like really cool like Russian people that were into the Mighty Boosh.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is this place?
Do you know what that is?
They kept pouring me shots of like vodka.
Yeah.
And they kept I was like, I've got to play.
Wake up in Siberia.
No, you drink. I was like, okay. Like,
you don't want to say no to a Russian offering you vodka either. That's you've got to take that.
But that was a really cool set. And then, but then I had a residency in Ibiza.
Mate, I was going to say that's what I said.
You came out there.
I mean, this man has lived a life.
What else? I played.
I've just got to say, I remember that. That was because I remember we went.
You was
there.
out, wasn't you out for like a stag weekend or something?
I think it was just. Do you know
just
what?
you
I
were
think
just there.
Nah, yeah, it was that sort of time. Another period.
Yeah.
I was at uni at that point, I think, and I had like. You know, God knows what I was doing over the summer. And two of my mates were working there, and I just flew. Me and my mate had been to a festival in Barcelona.
Yeah.
The summer camp, and then I just got a one-way flight to Ibiza from there with like again not hardly any money in the bank, which you need. And I was just pitching on my mate.
Money when you're young, do you? You just float along.
Nah, there was about 7 people in like this 4. An apartment that slept 4 people, and I was just pitching on my mate's sofa, but they were all sort of working, and I had no like.
Yeah.
I was just getting.
Was I
smashed.
with my mate Luke?
I think you were with Luke.
Yeah.
I
remember Luke. He's a cool guy. Actually, I liked him. He's a nice fella.
Because I might have popped a pill or 2 that night myself, so I can't, it was a bit
outrageous. Who pops pills in a booth?
I can talk about it openly now because I don't do it.
I think I think we met in a bar. We met up in a bar before, and then after I think you were going somewhere else. But I think we went. I don't know if you came with us, but we went to Amnesia.
No, we went.
That's the weirdest place I've ever been to. I've never seen.
I love that club,
there was
mate.
There was like women in the rafters of these like clubs, like just like all around the top of the club.
Oh yeah.
Pulling things out of their,
mate.
You know what? I was like, what are you doing? You're pulling flags out of you.
Mate.
Every nationality.
You go,
that's a magic trick. That's a magic trick that I like to see.
I was like, what?
I just one of my abiding memories of Amnesia, and it might have even been on that holiday. It might have been. I think it was on that holiday. I remember being in there. It's obviously Ramo. It's an amazing club. It's absolutely Ramo. And I was like, obviously, like the smoke comes down. It gets to about 5 in the morning. There's sun coming through. I'm having to lean on this guy, having a chat with him for about 20 minutes, like that. I turned down and it was a fucking stone horse. So I haven't taken ketamine since, I can tell you.
I mean, in fairness, he probably turned him to stone. He'd got into one of his stories. He droned on, and he just turned the geezer to stone.
I can assure you that was the last time I ever did ketamine. But no, fucking good time. So you were doing your DJing.
Yeah, I did DJ tour in Australia where I did 20 gigs in Australia.
Brilliant.
All around Australia. It's insane. At one point, I did all the radio stations there, like that, the interviews and that, and they were like, at one point they were going, you're like you're the most famous international star out here at the moment. I was like, what do you mean? I was just playing down the road, like yeah, but You're cooler than us, shut up. So what do you mean?
He's a
That's
better dancer
ridiculous.
and all, by the way. You wait to see this man
I
on the
sold
D
out the
floor.
Metro in Sydney, which is like a massive club. It's literally just people dressed
Yeah.
up in Boosh characters. But I was DJing, and after the crowd stampeded the stage, and it was so terrifying. And then after, like, the promoter was like, Mike, we've only had 2 reactions like we did at this club ever in history of this club being open, you and the Wu-Tang Clan. And they went a bit more crazier for you. I went, what do you mean? Like a big Wu-Tang
that is
Clan.
a claim to fame, mate.
yeah.
He's bigger than the Wu-Tang Clan.
I was like, no way.
I'll tell you what. One thing I say about the Aussies and New Zealand as well. They're bang on their comedy,
Yeah.
and they love their music and
Yeah,
that
yeah,
as well.
yeah.
So you got to like that's
But
a
I
proper
could play.
combination.
What was nice is that I could play whatever I wanted, and it didn't matter because people were there just to see what
you was doing and what you was like, just for the vibe.
Whereas after I stopped DJing after a while because I was finding that I was doing uni gigs and the crowds were getting younger and younger, and they hadn't even seen Boosh. They didn't know who I was. They were just, and I was so I couldn't get away with playing like some old reggae anymore.
Some random jazz.
People like didn't know what it was, or like playing old stuff like the Stones, like the young. The crowds were like, crowds were like, you know, a mixture of like they're between like 17 to like 21-year-olds. Like, what? Who's this guy? We don't know who he is.
Getting booed off.
And I was like, do you know what? I've had enough of this. And also, I couldn't do the lifestyle anymore.
Yeah.
Did you kind of like yourself? Because obviously, you know, without going into specifics, a DJ gig as Naboo, you know, you're getting paid for it. Like you're doing all right. Did you kind of put a stop to it yourself then? Were you?
Yeah,
like,
I kind of had
like,
enough of it. I was doing it for so long, and also the enjoyment. I didn't get any enjoyment out of it anymore. It became a chore, which is a shame because I used to love it.
That's it, isn't it?
But yeah,
it's funny when you hit that. You can hit those moments.
kind of wish I wish I saved all my DJ talent.
I was going to say.
Spent it all.
I was going to say.
Well, shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Well, the thing is, when you're
Now I'm
flying and the money's rolling in,
Now I'm 42.
you just carry on, don't
now
you?
I'm 42. I'm like, oh, okay. I wish I'd saved like a lot of money.
Hindsight is the most beautiful thing in the world.
I
isn't
know.
it?
I probably could have had a house by now.
But mate, that's the name of the game. So when
Anyway.
from there though, you kind of had that period in your life, and I think probably you've had the Boosh, you've had the DJ, you've had the sort of glitz and glamour sort of thing, and like naturally anything can kind of fade a little bit from there. Were you ready to like go into just? We went into hospitality. Didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I've always enjoyed jobs, like not enjoyed, but I've always gone to like hospitality kind of jobs. So I joined a hospitality agency, high-end hospitality. I was like, okay, I'll try this out.
Yeah, sweet.
It's insane. You get to choose wherever you want to work. So there'll be like a meal for 800 people, like a VIP meal in the Natural History Museum one night, and then another night it'll be like, oh, we're going to do the Windsor Horse Show. And you're going to look after the Royal Box. I'm like, what? Okay.
Yeah, wow.
Literally my first job at that agency was Royal Windsor Horse Show. So Windsor Castle.
Yeah.
Went down there. Like, they were like, right, we've put you in the Royal Box. I'm like, what do you mean? What? Okay. So we had to get everything ready.
You weren't popping pills in there,
No.
mate.
We got everything ready, polishing cutlery and everything for the tables and that. And then they were like, right, the Queen's gonna come round. Her Majesty, the late Queen, obviously, is gonna come round and do a walk round, just like casually.
Yeah.
It was about 11 in the morning. Because it didn't start till like 2 or something.
Yeah.
She's going to casually walk round, just have a look round. And we're like, what do you mean? What, in their slippers? Yeah, she'll just come round, like. So she just had a look round, and then, like, we were all like, oh my God. So, yeah, she had a look round.
Did you meet her? Did you have a chat with her? Or?
Not there, we didn't, but she did actually ask later on when she came back, like, when it opened and that. It's like, can I get a drink? My mum, you have to say "ma'am" like jam.
Yeah.
You get the full dealo, don't you? What you got to say?
I'll have a gin and tonic. We didn't have any gin and tonic. No, there's something she asked for and we didn't have it. What was it?
What is it?
I can't remember what it was, but we didn't have it, or we didn't have that in.
Mate, it's her do. And you ain't it's her do, and you ain't even got the fucking drink she wants.
we had to get her something else in the end. But anyway, no, that was in the morning when she walked round. But later on when she came, I went out to the balcony and asked her and like security kind of person if they want drinks. And I remember I went out and took the. I think she asked for a. We got the gin by then. She had a gin and tonic, so I took the drinks out. Oh, sorry, took the drinks out. And her security guard looked me up and down and went, "You're a shod fella. Have you considered being a jockey? Are you Mexican?" I was there going, ah! I was like, I just wanted to laugh, but I couldn't. I was like, I need to go. I need to get out of this situation.
Do you know, I said the benefit of the aristocracy, you could just throw out anything.
You can be rude to who the fuck you want. You can say what you like, they get away with it.
Like a Mexican jockey.
First ever job at that company.
Yeah.
Mate, fucking hell! What, you must have a few.
I wanted to say I have considered being a jockey, mate.
Yeah.
It didn't, it wasn't me. You know?
Queen's a good person. Was a good person to know on that.
Too many bumps in the road.
No, but yeah.
Few stories in the hospitality game.
But
surely.
then when I worked at Buckingham Palace, the garden parties, about a year later, and I was a barista manager there. I used to have to make enough iced coffee for like 800 plus people per party. There was only like 6 parties per year. They were all just in May.
Yeah, I used to work them in the cab because that was massive. You know what I mean? And we'd just be ranked up outside it and ferrying people to and from. And there's people from all walks of life, isn't it? You know what I mean?
One party was like. One would be like veterans, another one would be like just people like just anyone, like anyone. They'd get like a random they'd get a random invite in the post. They could be like anyone that matter, and then they'd be like, oh my god. And then another one would be celebrities, but kind of. I remember on the celebrity one because I was normally back of house, but on the celebrity one when they were short staffed out on the lawn, so I worked out on the lawn.
Yeah, wicked.
Some people were like. There was a mixture of celebrities and also getting other guests, but some of the other guests were like, we're big fans of your show, can we get a photo? And I was
and you're trying up a glass of wine.
Going, all right, be quick, because the managers are watching you like a hawk.
Yeah, of course. I was going to think, because, hospitality, you've got to be in the game, mate. You've got to be on form anyway. But if it's high end, you really have, you can't
I loved it, though. I loved it, because I could choose where I worked. Yeah. And then I did regular ones, like Cadogan Hall in Sloane Square.
Yes. Lovely.
I worked there as a regular. They liked me there. They liked the same staff, but it's only a 4-hour shift, so it wasn't like...
Very lucrative.
Was it regular work though? In terms of did you could always say check in that I'm available.
There was jobs every day.
But there's always something going on in London. There's always a party, isn't there?
I guess at that point, that's giving you a nice bit of structure as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? As much as anything else.
Yeah, and I get bored. I get bored really quickly, so it was good for me because it was variety. I could work in different places. It depends. Some of because you had different kind of companies that would hire. So. There was particular venues that I would notice that I'd go, well, actually, I know the managers. Some of the managers are horrible in the different companies. There was different caterers that worked.
jobs worthwhile?
Well above their station, or saying.
Certain ones were really good, so I'd always go to the same places. But then others were just awful, and they were just jobs worth.
Did you do any real sort of off the wall venues
I got booked for a job. It didn't say where it was. All I knew was that I'd have to meet in Brixton in a cafe. So
it sounds like
went down there. I got accepted for the job. I went down there. We met in the cafe and I went, okay, well, we can't tell you where we're going. You've got to lock your bag and your phone in the locker in Brixton.
Were you secretly working as a hooker, Mike?
Yeah. And then you're going to get on a coach. I was like, are you trafficking me somewhere?
Not back to Mexico, Mike, would you?
What's going on here?
Back to Mexico.
Yeah, brilliant.
So I was like, okay. So there was a few regular people that I used to work with that I saw there as well, and I was like, I thank God I can see a face that I recognise. So we were there and we got on the coach. I was like, I'm a bit nervous about putting my phone in a locker before we got on there. I was like, So anyway, I texted my mum before. I was like, look, I'm gonna have to leave my phone in Brixton. My mum was like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, that is fucking
Right.
random,
Right, we've got to
mate.
get on the coach now. Anyway, we got driven about everything's about an hour and a half. The wall windows are blacked out, so we couldn't see where we're going. I was going, this is not boding
Nah,
well.
this is yeah.
Oh, what? No,
Something
I
not
mean, even
right here.
I was like, I'm not drinking any water they're giving me. Really.
what? Yeah, like what? You had to go to work.
So anyway, we were all getting really nervous.
Yeah.
And the coach stopped and we're like, okay, we've stopped. Where are we? Are we going to be in the woods somewhere?
Yeah.
Are we getting on a boat or like no? We got it and literally it was the annual Scientology yearly event of the
Of course it was. All right, it makes sense now. All right.
I've never seen a marquee as big as this. It looked like a castle. It was this marquee was so big. I thought it was a castle. I was like, is this a castle? It's a marquee.
Fucking hell.
So is it in like a country, man? Is it like a country
it's down in
estate?
Crawley, and is that where you went? Their main headquarters.
It was. I think it was in.
East Grinstead, Crawley way.
Yeah.
I know where
Is that where they got? I know the one in London.
I know exactly where it is.
East Grinstead.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not that I'm a member of Scientology, but
Yeah.
So anyway, it was like a sit down dinner for like I don't know how many. There was so many. It was about 5,000 people.
Really?
was
So
your man there?
We all got
was
four.
Tommy Cruise there?
I didn't see him there.
Yeah.
No. We got four. We got about 8. There was so many staff. We got about I think 4 tables each. 4 tables of like 8 or 10.
Yeah.
So it was like loads of preparation. But while they were talking on stage and that, doing any presentation, we weren't allowed to be in that room. We had to go into the kitchen. We weren't allowed to listen.
Secret, like
Jeez.
And
under
then-
wraps.
Yeah. It was.
they didn't try to
ridiculous.
convert you then.
We got all this booze in for the tables and that wine and that. No one on my tables. No one drank. No one. They all had the soft
Fucking
drinks.
best night, quiet
I was
night's work,
like-
mate.
Yeah.
So, it was the weirdest thing ever. I was like,
I mean,
Oh, and then
that
they
is
put you-
frightening as
Yeah,
well.
that
Like
is
the way
scary.
that you've been sort of, like you say, trafficked to go out to somewhere you don't know. I mean,
Oh, I
fucking
know.
hell.
I mean, talk about, I mean, that's a bit eyes wide shut vibes,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Oh,
like
yeah.
you're going down into
Yeah.
the mid.
Yeah.
That's not a normal day job. That you know
No.
what I mean?
Nah.
That's tricky. Fucking fair
But
play.
yeah, it was pretty random. But
One for the storybook said.
oh yeah.
I love it, mate. So after hospitality, when
He was
did you
blindfolded
Yeah.
walking in there, and then they wiped his memory as he walked out.
fully paid up member? So what have you? So from there, did you? Are you still doing hospitality, or you're working
I work for Nowhere Rail now.
working for Network Rail? So was that was that like a COVID thing? or
No,
was that-
so when I moved to Milton Keynes about
Yeah.
8 years ago, I was commuting from Milton Keynes doing hospitality
Doing
in London
hospitality.
still. I was spending like almost my wages on travel.
Yes.
It's like 600, 700 quid
That's
a
when
month.
it
I
hits
was like,
you,
there's
yeah.
no point. I was doing double shifts to just even
It's just
live.
crazy,
Yeah.
isn't it?
I wasn't seeing my partner. We weren't seeing each other because I was getting up at 5 in the morning and then I was getting in at like 12.
Fucking
There
hell.
was no life
Yeah, yeah.
basically.
Nah,
so I
that's-
was like, I need to get to hospitality. So I joined a hospitality agency in Milton Keynes.
Gotcha.
This, which was ridiculous. It only had 2 venues.
I was going to say, there's
Mercedes.
there ain't a massive lot
It was
going on, unless it's
Mercedes,
MK
Mercedes
yeah.
Benz, the car showroom, and it was
The
basically
local Rotary
it
lunch.
was
or
pot
something.
washing. I did that for a bit. I hated it. It was soul destroying.
Yeah.
No offense to pot washers, but
I've been one, mate.
I
Don't worry about that.
literally absolutely hated it. I was like, nah. But the other job through that agency was at Nowhere Rail doing the catering.
Yeah.
Right.
So I used to work a few shifts there, and then they were really short staffed, or someone left, and I got a phone call saying, "Do you want to come here permanently?" I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
So I did hospitality at Nowhere Rail for the independent caterers there,
Yeah.
for all the office workers. Worked there for 3 years, and then while I was there, I applied for jobs upstairs in the offices.
So when's that? What year is that then? Is that like that? That's
2018 onwards, and then 2018 onwards.
sweet. So now you. So what,
And you're still there now and working from home. and-
Actually, no. Saying that, just before that, I done the tour, didn't I? Evening with Noel Fielding. Because
Oh, yeah, of course you did.
whilst I was because I met Mark Mark came to the tour when we did the UK dates, and then I went to America for 2 months, touring America and Canada. And then when I got back, I worked it their way around.
See, the thing is, you've got all of these, like, which I think is a massive thing. You've
It's
got all
good.
these little things sprinkled in, like, do you know what I mean? Which is basically, if you're going to have a job in the end, unless you know,
Unless you're a Hollywood movie star,
It's nice because it keeps you grounded.
100%.
It does. It keeps you normal.
Like, you know, if you're going to have
I think if you're doing, constantly doing like TV and film all the time, maybe that's when
It's
you
a different world, isn't it? Your mind's gone.
Don't get me wrong, would love to do that.
got it all the time, yeah.
But there's something nice about being around like normal people as well.
And not like feeding into the whole sort of hurrah all the time sort of thing. I mean, we know our granddad was an actor. Do you know what I mean? Like, he became, you know, he was.
Well, he's a household name through the late 70s and 80s. You know, it's
after you know, years of struggle and making ends meet and all that sort of thing, and then he hit the big time.
the big time. Got one show, and then it led on, and he had a 20-30 year career that was massive. But fully grounded, drunks in all the local pubs.
Yeah.
Everyone know, had 5 kids that we all went normal schools.
Yeah.
And, we're the grandkids, obviously. But that's the thing. A lot of people, you don't know. You think, you see one person on one show, and that's it. That's their made. But it ain't like that. Especially nowadays with the cost of living. You need to pay the bills.
People they have no idea. They think because you're in a big show, they always thought you're like a millionaire.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't work like that.
It's a temporary. Same with the people working, even behind the scenes and that sort of stuff.
If you're a movie star,
it's a job.
Yeah. But then,
tiny percent. That's like the tiniest percent. The reality is, it's a job to job situation, isn't it?
So going on from your grounded job, there's a new series, isn't there?
There is, yes. It's out now on Apple TV Plus. The completely made up Adventures of Dick Turpin.
Quality.
It's about the adventures of Dick Turpin and how he's trying to survive with his gang, trying to the misadventures of being a highwayman. It's silly. It's
with a little Fielding Brothers twist on it.
Yeah. He co-wrote it, and you can tell it's very.
Quality.
I describe it as Mighty Boosh mixed with a horrible history. So
that's a good sum up actually. That's really good. I've seen a few trailers and whatnot. I haven't seen a full episode yet. But
I played Benny. Dick Turpin's cousin. I work in the butchers with Dick Turpin's father, so yeah.
As you do.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I've seen the trailers. I've seen a little bit of the first episode. I'm gonna get home and smash it tonight. Do you know what? I'm so happy that. And it's a great little story in itself that, the Boosh your experience of the Boosh is 20 years ago now. And it's just funny how things come about, don't they?
Yeah.
Like, you're out, you're not doing anything in the TV game for a bit, but you've sort of found a little bit of a grounding. Like, you found a nice bit of structure, a nice bit of grounding. And now you can just enjoy these moments when they come around. If something great, big comes off of it, fantastic. But no matter what, you just enjoy being able to jump in without any pressure,
and it makes you enjoy it even more when you're doing it because it's not all the time. So you're going, this is it's dipping back into the limelight a little bit,
Very healthy way,
really good way to live your working life, because you've got the best of both worlds. I just think, great, good luck to you, mate.
We all like
brilliant.
a bit of dipping in and out,
Of course we fucking do.
I'll dip in and out.
It's all about.
Any opportunity to dip in and out.
It's like soldier into an egg. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, we're going to get taken off air at this, right? But, so, on that note, mate, firstly, it's been fantastic to speak to you again, mate. But
we've got... we're going to sort of ask every guest this. Obviously, off the back of the show we did, I had to choose a partner to go around the world with and go up mountains with and, go on speedboats with, and I chose Jimmy Boy. So if you was to do Road to a Million, who would be your partner?
I would probably choose my best mate, like growing up, Luke.
Yeah,
You know
met him.
Luke.
Yeah,
We
good
know
guy.
Luke.
Good guy.
Shout out
He's a
Luke.
proper geezer, and yeah, he's good. He's very clued up on everything.
Get his hands dirty.
Yeah, he'd probably keep me safe.
Yeah,
actually-
he look after you. He's like your bodyguard.
I'm a bit shambolic. I'd probably be. I'd
like
fall
me
into
looking
a
after him.
ravine. I'd fall into a ravine or something, and he'd be like, "Come on,
what you
scoop me
need.
back up."
Yeah, that's what you want.
That's the key to friendship, isn't it? You can act like complete wrong-uns together, but when the chips are down, they've got your back as
Yeah.
well.
I wouldn't take no. It's too high maintenance.
I was interested in the thing. I was
He's
like,
winkle
now.
pickers climbing up them mountains. That wouldn't do him no favours. His cape will catch. You'll be flying off, wouldn't he?
You don't know though, because they could dig in at a slide.
Yeah, that's a point.
He
He wouldn't need his rock climbing
He could
boots.
just have a cup of tea at the top. Like that.
He'd be like, "I don't know the capital city of anywhere."
Yeah. Get me back to the TV. Good. Mike, it's been an absolute honour, mate. It's been
Oh,
lovely to
thank
see
you.
you
Lovely
again.
to see you, Mike. We've got to stay in touch, my man.
Always a pleasure.
After all these years, and we're really glad that you're back doing your thing.
Yeah, man, been really good.
Completely made up Adventures of Dick Turpin.
Yes.
Out on Apple now.
Out on Apple now. Watch
Apple
it.
TV Plus.
Apple TV Plus.
now.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out for Mike.
Brilliant.
Enough love, everybody.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Don't give up your day job.
Don't give up your day job.
Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. Your day job.